Hello. Thought it'd be fun to put some updates together for you. I'm actually here in my classroom, which is exciting. This is where I teach the kids day in and out, except for that one day on Mondays when I do my travel school. But otherwise, this is it. So that's my desk over there, TV screen, all that stuff. It's a good time. We have fun. But had some cool updates. So last week, there's some obviously good news and bad news going around with COVID and Corona, but glad to have a little bit of good news at least. So when we first came here, both my wife and I were both vaccinated in the United States. I got my second dose in May. She got hers in January because she's a nurse. And when we got here, there's this whole thing about this needing certain forms or documents, things that we didn't have when we got here to be able to get our vaccines from the US registered in Korea to show up as vaccinated. We actually went to the health clinic. I went there 2 times and just was giving them document after document, hoping that I had what I needed to show it. I had my vaccine card, all that stuff, but there was just little picky things that kept us out. And turns out we weren't the only one. There was actually a lot of backlash about that policy. Some foreigners were getting vaccinated again just to be able to get that vaccinated status here in Korea. In November, they shifted to something called living with Corona, which is supposed to be like living a normal life, just with the masks. And things were supposed to be open. You're still called to check in where you were going, but it was supposed to be very relaxed and with testing, and they'd quarantine you if something happened, but otherwise it was supposed to be okay. Well, Omicron, now our numbers have gone up a lot, and they haven't changed anything yet as far as the living with Corona, but they did say if you can qualify for a 3rd vaccine dose, you got to get the booster to be considered fully vaccinated. 6 months, I think, after your last one. So because Isabel and I both have, she almost has a whole year, I have over 6 months, we now qualify for the booster, but we couldn't get it because we weren't registered as vaccinated. So just last week, they changed the policy where now all you need is your alien registration card, it's just like your Korean ID, and your COVID vaccine form. And that's all we needed. We took that into the health center that same day. They remembered us from coming in November when we didn't have our documents and it didn't work. And they were excited and they celebrated with us when we were able to get our vaccines registered. Even got the booster shot scheduled for later on Saturday. So we'll have that too. So hopefully that will keep us safe, other people we interact with safe, and that means we can still enjoy the fully vaccinated benefits here, which is nice. When you check into places, you put a QR code over a scanner, and it lets the business know that, yeah, you're vaccinated and everything about that. So that's nice. I'm hoping that it stays good. I would love it if that meant that we don't have to quarantine if we come back. Our school break is coming up in January and February, and I would love to be able to travel home just to visit family, visit friends, and just during the time off, get to do that. But that's not really doable if when we return, we have to use 10 extra vacation days to quarantine in a home. So we'll see what happens after this booster shot. That would be great. It'd be a little expensive, but I think it'd be worth it. It's December, their semester will end. My last day is January 10th of my school here. I've got 2 weeks of an English camp, which is like a morning camp for 10 students each week, and they come in every day for that whole week, and we learn English. We're gonna watch shows, movies, and we're going to study through some games and try to make it fun, some craft activities. So Isabel also has a camp. She only has 1 week of hers. So we have it planned for a Pokemon theme. We're doing the same theme to try to plan it together, and it should be exciting. It's about from 9 to 12. We'll do that in the morning, and then if I hang out after school till 4:40 when I get off on usual days, I don't have to take a vacation day. So that's probably what I'll do for those 2 weeks, and it'll be nice. I'll work in the morning and then just get a chill in the afternoon and don't have to take a vacation day, which is kind of cool. So we have that. Also, the school, the teaching updates in general, teaching has been going smoothly. I've gotten to a routine. Other people, they plan out their schedule well in advance, all sorts of, weeks and weeks down the line. I found I do each day, the next day. I make sure that I've got my next lesson figured out, and then that kind of puts me at ease in my mind. And then when the next day comes, I can use my planning period to plan the one after that. So keep going down the line. It works out okay. Sometimes they move things around. So by not planning way far in advance, I've sometimes saved myself some work. If they say, oh, I don't want you to do this lesson, actually this one, the day before it happens, I haven't even planned it yet probably. So I'll be fine. Also, a lot of times games can work for other lessons, and there's a lot of flexibility. So I try to just do the next one. My schedule is nice too, because most days I teach one grade. Today I taught 3rd grade with one 4th grade class. Tomorrow I'll teach just 4th grade. And Friday I teach just 5th grade. So that makes it easier for me. Not everybody can do that. Isabel, for example, teaches a mix of classes every day. So having them planned out is nice. And she gets that done ahead of time. So yeah, I've enjoyed that. My co-teacher has been really nice. Speaking with the other EPIK teacher that was in my position that I kind of took over, she went to a different city just to get a change of pace, and she really misses being at this school with this co-teacher. So Miss Han's really nice. It's been a good one. So some other just general thoughts, I would say, trying to keep this one shorter, not trying to go super rambly. I would say it's been good. We're in this transition, like I said, of it's no longer this vacation travel experience. We're now in a living here, day-to-day routines set out for us. What is neat, if we ever go to a close nearby town to check it out, it's quickly back in that vacation mode. Right across the way, you can get into vacation mode, but then right here, you can be in home living, which is kind of how it is in wherever you live too. You can jump one city over and try to check it out. Go eat at the cool places. Go grab coffee here and watch the people go in the main square. We'll do all those things, and you kind of put yourself in a vacation mode, even though you didn't leave that far from home. So here, it's just everything's in Korean all the time, and I can't talk to anybody if I want to. So there's that. But they know so much English, it's crazy. Just the general public. I mean, I'm telling you, there's such a privilege in knowing English as your native language. It's hard to beat. It is a hard to beat privilege. It's the only reason that we're really here is because we speak English native. If you didn't, you couldn't come here. You really can't come here if you know it as your second language. You have to be a native English speaker to be a teacher in this position. But one of the things, I hope to learn a lot through this experience. I don't even know if I will know everything that I have learned through this until we go back home. There's a Nelson Mandela quote, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he says that there's nothing like going back to a place that remains unchanged to see all the ways that you've changed. And I think that that's something that we'll experience when we visit home or when we move back. It'll be really interesting leaving this Korean life that we've built for ourselves behind, just like it was interesting leaving our American life, our world that we've built. We left that to come here. And we were able to bring a little bit with us. Really appreciate our friends working with us, making the time to be able to talk with us and send us memes and Snapchats about what's going on. That's been really nice. I know that it's a lot to think about people that aren't always right in front of you at arm's length. So the fact that they are still keeping up with us and making that effort is something I greatly appreciate. Also, I've been appreciating our friends that we've made here too. It's been nice to be able to have a couple people that we can go travel around and experience some things with. I think COVID's made that really difficult. A lot of times, if people were here before, you hear a lot about nightlife scenes, or they'd go to travel to these different really unique places and lots of people would meet up and you'd be able to make friends, or do like a language exchange where you'd be able to learn Korean and they could learn English and back and forth. But here a lot of that's been closed off. That hasn't really been happening because of Corona. So it's kind of been your own little lane. You're staying in your own space. So the friends that we have been able to make inside of our smaller towns have been extremely valuable, and really appreciate and love that we're able to have a group of people that want to hang out. Like for Thanksgiving, we did a Friendsgiving, which was fun, like we would back home. So even though they don't make a big deal out of Thanksgiving here, obviously, and it was really sad or like a more homesick time, missing family, it was nice to get to have some people that we could kind of spend with and, you know, feel like a little bit like this Korean teacher family in a way. There was another quote that I liked. I think I heard this on a Korean board I was reading online about people that moved over here, but it was some proverb about, if you're going to paint the mountain, you best go to the field. And if you want to paint the field, you best go to the mountain. So stepping outside of this world that we've built, my wife and I built in the United States, coming to Korea gives us a different perspective on that life. And we're able to see it at a distance and kind of see the whole picture. And it's been really nice to be able to reflect on our values and the way we live and the things we look at, what we're racing toward or what we're looking forward to has been really unique. I wasn't running from anything. I really like my life in the United States. I'm not trying to distance myself from anything back there. I'm excited for career opportunities. I've been excited for hanging out with my friends and my family that are all back there. And the prospect of moving back there is exciting to me. But I know that this experience is something that I chose to do. I chose to step out of that world, that path that was right there, and come here to figure out what this is about. Who knows if it was going to be good or bad or what have you. I just felt like there'd be a lot of learning. There'd be a lot to learn through this. So we're here, and I think we are learning. I think we're learning more about our home. I think we're learning about a lot about Korea. Not as much about the language that I wish. It's a lot with the day-to-day and being busy to keep up with language learning, but Isabel does a really good job. She helps to teach me, and I hope to be more like her in really continuing to learn the language. It's a little bit difficult. Helps me empathize with the students though, but they are super good at English because I can't even get like 2 sentences out in Korean. So it really puts that in perspective. But also saying that, I think through this experience, we are learning things, but I don't know if we'll know what all we did learn, how much it grew us, how it expanded our perspective on things until we go back home, whether that's to visit or to move back or what have you. I think we'll see this experience in a different light too, when we have Korea at a distance. And a little piece of us will probably always see it as our home in the time that we have here. And I hope we always can think fondly of it. But we'll see. I don't know what the future holds. I'm not trying to get wrapped up in it. I'm trying to experience what we're doing now, because the present's all we've got. The past behind us, future's ahead of us. And I think it'll be good. Peace.